What was it as far as this field of work? What is it that drew you in and made you want to do that?
So my undergrad is not in anything to do with psychology or counseling. My undergrad is actually in juvenile probation and parole.
Really?
Yes. And when I was doing my hours for a probation officer, I realized that it wasn't the kids. A lot of times it was the direction of the parents and some of the stuff that they do.
Faith and Failures Podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Faith and Failures. So before we get started today, we do have a special guest and we're going to do some talking. We've never done this before live, so let's just try to be understanding. What I want is kind of towards the end, if you have questions, write them down somewhere. And then I want to do kind of a live Q&A at the end, give our guest an opportunity to kind of answer. If you got any hard questions,
Don't ask them.
We want all of these to be softballs, please. So if you don't know, you can go subscribe on YouTube. You can like and follow on Facebook, Instagram. But do me a favor. The like button is free. Just smash that like button. That helps the algorithm push this video out to other people as well. And that will help me out greatly. Also, any links below. If you order water on Amazon and you use my link, I get a cut of it. Or if you order anything off of Amazon, I'm an Amazon affiliate. Helps the channel out in a small way. As well as you can hit the PayPal link that will let you go to a one-time donation, or you can choose to do it monthly. Just helps further the gospel, which is the mission and the vision here on Faith and Failures. So without further ado, this man right here, his name is Bill Fahrenbrook, and he is what did you say your title was?
A licensed professional counselor.
Okay, I didn't want
With
to...
supervisory status.
What does that mean?
That means I can supervise interns and people working towards licensure.
Make sure that audio is good. Hold on. Boom. Okay. I always check my audio because at one live stream, it was not working. So I check it from now on. All right. So now you, through a weird path, ended up at our church and we got to know each other pretty well and found out you were a licensed, sorry, my volume was up, a licensed therapist. And as soon as you said that, I started watching you.
I was watching you way before I said.
Oh, I figured you did. You had a few steps ahead of me because, like when I was at Southwestern Sweetgod University, my major was psychology, and that kind of stuff really interests me. And so when you said that, I'm like, oh, finally, I've never met somebody who actually did it as a living. Like may have had a degree, or they may have done this or that, or kind of spotty, but like you actually do it as a living. That's how you make your money. And so it's very intriguing to me. The capacity, being from a pastor's standpoint, I'm not a licensed counselor, but I do a lot of counseling. People come to me, they ask questions, you carry, I don't know how you do it, but it's hard for me sometimes to lay those burdens at the door as I come in because people talk to you about some heavy stuff. And sometimes to help people, you have to kind of be a lot more compassionate to the normal person they're just talking to because they're actually coming to you for answers. So now that being said, what was it as far as this field of work? What is it that drew you in and made you want to do that?
So my undergrad is not in anything to do with psychology or counseling. My undergrad is actually in juvenile probation and parole.
Really?
Yes. And when I was doing my hours for a probation officer, I realized that it wasn't the kids. A lot of times it was the direction of the parents and some of the stuff that they do. So I went back and I was afforded the opportunity actually because I'm a veteran and the VA helped pay for my education. So I went back and got my master's degree. And that's when I decided. I first started off in marriage and family therapy, but the school I was going to, it wasn't meshing real well. So I switched schools and became a counselor. My dream was to own a private practice.
Yeah.
We owned one in Montana, my wife and I say we because she does all the bookwork and everything. Owned it in Montana for a while, and then from there I went to the VA. I worked for the VA, moved up pretty fast. Didn't do counseling for probably 8 or 9 years. I was in management.
Now, when you say move up, like what does it look like in that field? When you say move up, what is that?
I went from working in a rehab center as an alcohol counselor to the assistant chief of the rehab center to being the director of the homeless programming for the VA.
Okay.
Covered about 5 states, 100,000 miles.
So it's not just like you're sitting down with somebody, like you were over departments and doing
departments.
Okay.
And then when we moved here, I started doing therapy again.
Okay. So you kind of, Now, you said you started off doing one thing, so you kind of came full circle back to what you originally started off with. So was that kind of your heart's desire when you broke into it? Was because that's families was kind of why you got into it? Or it just kind of fell that way?
It was, but when you have 5 children, sometimes the money is more important than the passion.
Yeah. I said this last Sunday, if you have 3 children or beyond, I don't know why.
Because someone told God that we need to have one more before I'm 30, and he gave me 2 before I was 30. So
Twins.
yes.
So that's
Faith and Failures Podcast.